All right, Nick, football is back, and the Baltimore Ravens are back as well. A strong start, big win to start the season against Joe Flacco. We didn't hurt him too bad, so I'm happy about that. A guy who wins the Super Bowl, got to be a little bit easier on him. But Ravens fans, we got to know in the comment below. There's a lot of huge plays this game on offense and defense. Let us know in the comments below who was your player of the game. But Nick, let's dive on into this Ravens Jets action.
Yeah, so this was a slow starting game for the Ravens, and I know a lot of Ravens fans were probably very frustrated. It was 10-3 at the half, and really the Ravens offense wasn't really moving at all. Devin Duvernay had their only touchdown in the first half. He added another one in the second half, and of course Bateman with the long score to really put the separation between the two teams. And while there are things to maybe be concerned about if you're a Ravens fan, the slow start in the offense and really the lack of a running game, they finished with only 63 yards. I want to bring up a few points. And the first one to me is sort of these new additions that you see in this Ravens roster. And I look at Marcus Williams, who had a really, really nice day. Obviously, the big first half interception was part of a key forced fumble at a later point in the game that ended up, instead of getting a first down for the Jets, they had to settle for a field goal attempt. It kind of changed the flow and rhythm of the game. The addition of a guy like Williams is already paying dividends. And on the addition, and not really the addition, I should say, but sort of the revitalization of that Ravens defensive front. You got Owe is now older, more veteran. He's got more experience, and of course, you brought back Houston and Campbell and all these guys. It's a really deep, talented group, and they dominated the Jets up front when it came to the pass rush. You said Joe Flacco wasn't beat up too bad. I bet Joe Flacco would disagree. I mean, he got smacked around all game long. To his credit, Flacco hung in there and did a decent job for the Jets offense as much as he could anyway. But I love what I saw up front from this Ravens front four. They were generating pressure. Flacco was never comfortable. A lot of checkdowns. He was only sacked 3 times, but he was constantly pressured and hit multiple other times. So if I'm a Ravens fan, there's really 2 takeaways I want to focus on here. One is the addition of a guy like Marcus Williams and the impact he already had, and what other new additions could bring through this Ravens team. Number 2 is that the big play offense is still present even without Hollywood Brown. All 3 of their touchdowns were bigger plays, especially their last 2. And how about the second touchdown to Duvernay? Lamar Jackson with a no-look touchdown pass. It's just as good as anything you've seen from Mahomes or even Stafford during the Super Bowl. So a big credit to this Ravens explosive passing game. They got some things to clean up, but I think from that perspective, they impressed me.
Yeah, Nick, a big guy on defense I want to shout out is a young guy, second-year guy, uh, Justin Madubuike.
Yeah, he was huge.
He had a couple of he was very disruptive up in that front line. And another guy that's sneaky good who went away to Minnesota for a while and came back is Pierce in the middle. He ate up the field. He had a huge run stuffs. He just really, really showed that he was a key part. Brandon Williams is a few years removed now, and he's filled in that slot very nicely, along with Campbell, Matabike, Justin Houston. He got a sack, and the very next play should have got another sack, but they rolled right out from under him, and he wasn't able to get it. But he was very disruptive. This Mike Macdonald defense does something that I haven't seen happen in quite some time now. They had 3 sacks today. But I think with Martindale, we'd get a lot of pressure on the quarterback, but we could never really convert it into sacks. And this Mike Macdonald pass rush seems to be pretty lethal. There was a lot of getting to the quarterback today, and I think Flacco felt hurried all day long.
Well, and I think the big part of that, right, is they didn't have to sell out and do the cover 0 blitzes, right, that we had seen from Wink Martindale's in the past, where it was, sink or swim. You either get to the quarterback or you give a big play. And last year, unfortunately, that did the Ravens in some key losses, namely the Raiders and the Bengals are the ones that come to mind. They ended up beating Chicago. But I remember Chicago basically hung in because they were able to make big plays last year against those cover 0 blitzes. What I really like the new Ravens defense is they were more multiple. They had different looks, different blitzes, different packages. And even when they did blitz, it wasn't an all-out blitz. They didn't leave their guys on an island. They maybe brought 1 extra rusher, maybe 2. It wasn't leaving guys 1-on-1 in space and say, hey, you got to go out there and make a play, make a tackle, putting the corners and safeties in bad positions. So a lot of credit to the new defensive structure as well. And that plays a big role in the execution. You got to give your players the best chance to be successful. And that's exactly what Macdonald did against the Jets. And really, obviously, this is the Jets offense. So we gotta, put that kind of caveat on it. But this is how the Ravens can win games. They need to run the football better offensively. I'm assuming that's going to come as they get more of their timing and rhythm and flow back, but generate big plays in the passing game, make big plays on defense, getting interceptions and turnovers from the secondary, which they did against the Jets, and don't give up the big plays on defense. So those that sort of three-headed monster there is how the Ravens can win football games. So while there are things to improve on going beyond week one, I think the formula is in place. And if I'm a Ravens fan, that's something I'm excited about.
Yeah, Nick, and one last point to touch on before we let this one go. I think the running game will really be helped. Obviously, Dobbins was out today.
Yeah.
He's going to come back next week. Gus Edwards, who's been hurt, will come back probably in a few weeks. But Kenyon Drake looked really nice today. Mike Davis looked so-so. But, I think this rushing attack, like you said, will be bolstered once we get healthier. And that's on every part of the ball. Once Ronnie Stanley hopefully comes back.
Need Stanley back. James getting
big
hurt.
Time.
Need Stanley
big
back.
Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But I think the health is coming. They took it easy. They sat a lot of guys today. Obviously, Marcus Peters wasn't even playing today. A lot of key inactives on the Baltimore defense and offense. So as these guys who are recovering from injury come back, we're going to be even better, and that's scary to think about.